welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with
CJ Lou from the Fired Up with CJ show.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Didn't know we were going to make this one happen today. If you ever wanted to calm down, keep your cool, and maintain your focus no matter what, then do we have the How to Keep Your Head On show for you. Today we'll talk about staying cool through life's challenges, in a place of love, and focused on what matters most, even when you're enemy number one. That plus we'll talk about graduating fun, hiring, and more hiring, feeling completely behind the eight ball, a complete and total clutter bomb. Yes, that was clutter bomb. The cuddliest bear on the planet, and what in the world a rap sheet and yellow glasses has to do with anything. So welcome back to the show, CJ. Are you ready to
I
shine?
am ready to shine.
I guess I keep mentioning
Woohoo!
about the record, the rope-a-dope and the tandem ride, but we'll get there.
Okay, I'm gonna do Chakra 3 lavender fir and lemon. Oh, that smells
All right.
nice. That's nice. Okay.
So where should we
I
begin,
don't even
CJ?
know. I'll tell you why this kind of we're gonna do it an abbreviated show. What happened is, I thought I was supposed to pick my teacher up from the airport at 12:50. He's getting on a plane from in Berkeley at 12:50. So I was on the highway going, "Oh, I could do the show with Michael." Then I flipped the car
Ta-da!
around and then came. So that's why I'm a
Yeah.
little. It's just maybe it kind of explains my last couple of days. Every day has been like this kind of day, and it
It's
sounds like
behind the eight ball, keep your head on. I get it.
it's just,
We're in parallel paths here.
we have a wonderful practice. I actually really like this. There's a group of women that I meet with every month. I love this group, and it's a practice that I learned from clients. It's called MERPS, mental,
Yep.
emotional, recreational, physical, and spiritual. And so, what we
Mer-
do every time we meet is we do an update on MERPS, mental, emotional, recreational, physical, and spiritual. And um, and I said yesterday, I said mentally, I'm just all over. It's like ping pong, ping, 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 ping. Like just my meditations have been awful. My mind is kind of going berserk. So it sounds we're kind of maybe in the same place. What's going on with you? I have two things. There's so many things that I'm attracted to. One is the rap sheet and yellow glasses, and the other thing was uh, oh, I know about tandem bikes, but the clutter bomb. I want to hear about both of those
So,
from
well, you
you.
probably haven't heard this tandem bike ride story. So, Jessica and I are out for a tandem bicycle ride on Saturday, and I'm supposed to carry food for her. That's my job. I'm called the mule. I carry everything on the runs and the rides. I take nothing for myself. I'll take everything for her. I'll even take a large trunk if she needed to earn my man point, CJ. I had forgotten the main body of food that I had actually shopped for, some mangoes, some dried organic mangoes, and some other stuff. But I did have an energy bar for her just in case. And I'm saying, well, maybe we can manifest some food. And we're riding along, and then we see an umbrella off on the side of the bike path. And it turns out it was park rangers wanting to give you ice cream and popsicles if you tell them what you thought of the path and any changes you want.
Hmm.
So it was really cool. We manifested popsicles and ice cream. In fact, my popsicle had an actual strawberry in it. So
Yay!
we ride off from there. We answer questions. We think about some more answers we can give them, kind of like an informal survey. They're wondering about the
Yeah.
bike path, which goes right in front of our house. On the way back, we stopped and they said, "Do you want some more ice cream?" And I'm like, "Well, it wouldn't be fair to others because I want them to get it." And they're like, "No, if all the ice cream's melting and if it melts or we finish it, which is why they were eating a bunch, then we get to go home." So twist our arms. She had a drumstick. Oh, childhood memories that
Oh,
I
I
can't
love
get
drumsticks.
for. Love them. And even the chewy cone, it reminded me of the beach as a kid.
Yes, I
Uh,
love those.
couldn't have it, had another popsicle. And there's a park ranger who's looking at us and going, do I recognize you guys? Have I seen you guys before?
Hmm.
And oddly enough, Jessica's been recognized in the valley several times. I never have, which is
Oh,
kind of wild. I'm like incognito here, even though our show is everywhere. Not a single person has recognized me. And I'm like, well, maybe this is it. Maybe you've heard of our show. He's like, well, maybe that's it. I do watch podcasts and stuff. And he takes off. He's got to do his thing. And we're talking to the Rangers for a little bit. And then we ride off. We ride a few miles down the road and we get to an intersection where he's parked. And we could see it coming, CJ. He
What?
stepped out of his vehicle.
Oh no!
No, no, he was fine. Oh, I like that word fine. We were then fined $1,200.
For what?
You could see him walking up to us, and we're going to ourselves.
What?
Were we speeding on our tandem? And they have hidden radar. We're like, what's going on? And he pulls out a dossier on me with all of these photos and 22 separate citations on me, and then 5 citations on Jessica, and says, "We've been looking for you."
What?
You don't expect this on a tandem ride, CJ. It was a rope-a-dope. First they give you ice cream, then they throw the book at you. We were on. No, I know. It's been the
Who
WTF.
lives this life, Michael? You're
I
like
get,
I Love Lucy. There's the story after unbelievable stories.
and part of the reason I have to cut this short is I need to call the ranger after this because we've finally got things figured out. We border on BLM land, federal lands, and we're allowed access year-round to federal lands because we are a neighboring property having to do with agricultural land and agricultural
Right.
laws and stuff.
Right.
And so we were told we can access those lands year-round. Now there's an animal closure on the other side of the property that doesn't
Okay.
affect us. And so the elk and stuff, they don't know there's an animal closure over there. They come into our yard.
Right.
The deer come into our
Right.
yard. The bears, and I'll show you a bear that came into our yard this week. They come into our yard. So I was going this winter hiking on the BLM lands right outside my property and going through my gate and going up the hill and having a good old time. I knew that I passed a, what do you call it? What's the word for it? Wildlife camera that's, counting animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And they go hike up and hike down and hike up and hike down. And apparently they didn't know that I lived on the property next door. And so they said the whole area, there's been less trespassing on all of the open spaces lands in all of the Roaring Forks Valley this year, except for where you live. Caused by Jessica and yours truly. And
So the criminal offense was that you walked across this land
we
because
walked in an animal closure area with what we thought was the BLM lands, which are surrounding the house, to access BLM lands. And they said this stretch that we went on wasn't considered BLM lands. It was open spaces.
what's
And
that
so
mean?
we were violating it, owned by the county for recreation and things of that sort.
Wait, but why can't you walk through the county open
But
spaces?
that is closed in the winter for animal migration.
Oh,
Apparently, if I stand on one side of the fence,
you're an
uh,
animal. You were
it's
migrating.
legal. If I go on the other side of the fence through my gate, it's illegal. I did not know this,
How
CJ.
would you know?
Nobody would have known this, CJ. But now do have a sign up that they did put up after the fact. So
Okay, what do your mugshots look like? Well, like they have this book full of your photos and Jessica photos.
hiking and
It's
snowshoeing,
just like,
and yeah. And they're actually, somebody asked me, is it a terrible photos? I'm like, no, they're actually pretty good. I didn't get to keep any of them yet. Maybe they're now they've gone from a $1,200 fine. I'm going to speak with the gentleman in a few minutes. As soon as this is done, I believe it will go to a $200 fine. We'll consider that a donation to help protect open spaces. And now we know. But wow,
wow.
for a few days, our heads are spinning, going, wow, 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 and bringing us to the topic today. I do an exercise called a dwelling or a linking, which is I had to take the event that your mind dwells on, oh my God, what the, because it's the biggest what the out there. A friend of mine at the gym, he's walking past me, I'm on one of the machines, and I just told the mayor about it because she's a friend at the gym as well,
Yeah.
and he's walking past me and he goes, criminal. People don't usually associate that with my name, but okay. Oh no. So I've been linking whenever my mind goes to the WTF, I bring it back to the how are we building our business? WTF, how are we building our business? We're hiring this week, which we'll talk about. And I
Yeah.
had to find something to link it. I call it the antidote. You dwell on something, you have an antidote. Because my mind wanted to go squirrely on me and just keep replaying and replaying and going, what in the world?
Well,
What in the world?
how did you know? Well, do you think it's going to be reduced, or did they say like it will be reduced? Or you?
So they've sent over emails and we've heard it. This has taken place. Lots of stuff has taken place behind the scenes to try to figure out what happened because we were like offenders number one in the county or something. So it's our property. But be that as it may, we've heard about it from several channels, and so I just have to call and confirm. I met with the Rangers. I met with them. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday at the gate to our property and spoke with them. And this is obviously a very big deal to them because they have such a great
Yeah.
track record. And here we are, 22 offenses, and it was really and they've got pressure from their supervisor and pressure from here and pressure from there. And I'm literally standing with them and I'm sending them love and I'm sending them love. I even went for the hug at the end, CJ. One of the guys had a flak jacket on, the other one, the supervisor, didn't. So I went for the supervisor, didn't quite work. I patted him on the shoulder, shook his hand. I am going to approach this with a state of love, not trying to smother anyone with love, but you get it, CJ.
Oh, Michael, your life is incredible. I mean, I really, I just don't know many people who week after week, they have some extraordinary thing. You're
I
just
didn't see
never
this one
bored.
coming.
Okay. Wait, what does this have to do with the bear and then the rap sheet? Oh, well, rap sheet I get, yellow glasses.
So yeah, the bear, and here I'll see if I can. Oops, let's go back to you, bear. Oh, when you click the thingy. So this, I was in the middle of a coaching session, and I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh my gosh, it's a baby bear. Oh my,
Baby bear, a yearling. So I guess Mama had just. I don't know how it works. Does Mama walk away? Say you're on your own. So
oh,
baby bear
so
came
cute.
our door. We can't feed it, we can't pet it, we can't tell it how adorable it is, or it'll get friendly with humans and then it runs the risk of getting in big trouble or worse. But it is the cutest little thing.
Oh my
Can you see
gosh.
that fuzzy little butt
Oh, how big is it?
tail
Like
there?
probably it looks like 2, 3 feet tall.
Uh, I,
Oh! Love it.
and the good thing is it didn't realize that there were bird feeders right above it. If it had looked up, then it would have had lunch and then it would have been back and back again. But
Wow.
I love the wildlife here, and I love that wildlife just seemed to be attracted to us. Now, I do keep the feeders in at night. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see them, see this bear. I do keep the feeders in at night, and that's kind of a labor of love. So I was mentioning last week, I think, like a monk would go and light the incense each morning and say prayers in the evening. I go and I put out the bird seed and I make sure everybody up and down the food chain is taken care of. And then I bring it in all at night, minus the bears. We will not feed the bears, but that was baby bear who came to visit this
Oh, that
week.
was just so cute. Wait, and then yellow glasses? What does that have
Oh
to
no,
do?
the rap sheet and the yellow glasses is just that dossier that they had waiting for me, and they probably identified me, on that rap sheet.
It was because of your yellow glasses that they identified you.
Probably so. I mean, I'm fairly unique looking with those on.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Wow, what a week. I thought I can never top you. Ah, Michael. This is
don't even
it's impossible
try.
to top you with intrigue and excitement. I can't week after week. I just can't keep up. I thought I had an exciting week until I talked to you.
I'm
But
sure you did. Tell us about graduation, CJ.
so on Tuesday evening, my son graduated from high school. So we're now like
Oh
officially,
my
yeah.
God.
It was very exciting. It was in the McCaw Hall, and his grandma and grandpa on both sides came, and aunt came, and cousins, and It was very, very exciting, very, very sweet. So he said, I don't really feel like I feel different, but and I didn't. It kind of it came on really quickly. So you know that I went on this marathon walk, so I'm planning for the Camino de Santiago, and I thought, well, what's a long walk feel like? I just want to know what I'm getting myself into. So I did a 12-mile walk, which then
Oh,
Michael.
oh, wait, you just rounded. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When you spoke to me about coaching, you only called it 10 miles.
I actually looked at my watch. It was 12 miles,
So if
Michael.
you're listening to this, what you don't want to do, because I think you broke your hoobie, what you don't want to do is go from 5 miles to 12 miles.
I just didn't know. And so I've been basically scolded throughout the week. I went to my chiropractor because I get like, every 6 weeks I get an adjustment. And he said, "You did what?" I said, "I went from 5 miles to 12 miles a day." And he said, for one day, and he said, "CJ, it's like training for a marathon. You're not supposed to just like double or double a little bit more." I didn't know. I didn't know. But oh my gosh, I was so sore. But the two things that you recommended, Michael, work like a charm. I use CBD oil, and I which tastes awful, by the way. It tastes horrific. But
There are different brands. There's some that taste better than other, but they do all have a CBDE, kind of a seedy taste to them.
yeah, it tastes like grit. I don't know. Just I didn't like the taste. So, but I did take like 4 drops of this hemp oil, or CBD oil. I think it's the same thing. And then there was CBD cream that I put on the areas like my knees, my ankles that hurt. And it did. The next day, it did not hurt. And then the day afterwards, the different part, like my knees, my ankles hurt. And then the day afterwards, other things started to hurt, my back. And then I've been pretty much managed not to get injured or otherwise indisposed as a result of my aggressive maneuver, which I did not realize was an aggressive maneuver.
The trick when it comes to bipedal weight bearing motion, meaning two leg motion where you're fully standing on your own weight, not a bicycle or anything like that, is that what occurs, your injury that appears out of nowhere took place weeks before.
Oh.
So we insult ourselves several weeks before we injure ourselves, and then we don't make the connection. So that's
Oh.
why I wanted to back off on your training. And then I got an email saying, "Oh, can I add running to it too?" And I turned to Jessica and I said, "Coaching client out of control, CJ out of control." This is why I didn't even know how to respond to it.
Normally, what I didn't do is I didn't give you complete information. Every day I walk between 10 and 12,000 steps, which ends up being like
Oh, I got it.
4 miles, or 3 or 4 miles. And
But
then,
that's just your normal thing, not and that's very different than going on a path and walking. Because when you get that 3 or 4 thousand miles steps, excuse me, on your watch, that is, I turn and pivot in the kitchen, I walk to the
yeah,
garage, I
yeah, that's
walk to the
true.
mailbox, and everything is different versus a repetitive motion of 5 miles or now 10 miles or now 12 miles straight, which is a very different force.
I didn't understand, Michael. I just didn't know. I didn't know, Michael. So, well, then I didn't. Well, what Michael told me is you told me. So, Michael was gracious enough to coach me through this. So, he gave me a bunch of.
And we get to talk again this weekend. We will find the time
Okay.
for it because I've got to try straitjacket, may be necessary, to keep you on the straight and narrow. It's you Microsofters. You've retired from there, but you're still a Microsofter at heart.
It's really true. You told me not to. I'm like, okay, Michael, so I'm going to go for a run today. And he was like, what? No. I was planning on doing right after that 12-mile hike, whatever. I was going to do another 5 miles, and then I was going to
The
do
next day.
the next day a run. And you're like, no, don't do this. And I was like, okay. And I said to my husband, who was about to go for a run after our walk, I said, Michael said not to really do this. So I'm just like being super cautious and not, I'm just going to do yoga today. And then on Monday, I lifted weights. I did leg weights. And on Tuesday, I did, I can't remember what I did. I think I did like a walk around the lake. And then Wednesday, I did arm workout and a walk around the lake, or I just can't remember, but I really took it easy. And my husband, however, did not heed to Michael's advice. And guess what he has now? Plantar fasciitis, which I think he had had before because, as you said, but it just aggravated everything. Well, so anyhow, so so
CBD oil,
CBD oil,
salt, Epsom salt baths, and he's going to need to do some rest and recovery.
yeah,
Even though or especially because it's coming up in 4 months,
yeah,
there's no such thing as active recovery very much in the beginning of plantar fasciitis.
I know. So we're
So
so,
give him
but
lots of foot
I'm
massage.
excited. I got my backpack. We've got like our liter bottle water or like our water thing. I got toe socks. So I'm like, and I'm trying to like understand merino wool and like what blends and whatever. I don't know how I'm going to get down. Some women pack only 10 pounds on their back. I don't know how they actually do that because the
My
water,
recommendation. So I haven't done a walk like this, but I did a 5,000-mile solo 40-day bike ride across the
yeah,
country. And what I found is the first few towns or days, it's a different town each day that I would get to, I'd be mailing my stuff home because I realized very quickly, don't need it, don't need that, don't want this, don't. I'll sleep naked. I don't want to pack stuff on my back.
and that's
That's how you're going to be. So you might as well take too little now.
right.
Rather than,
Pick
well,
up
I
stuff.
could use this at some point on the trip,
Yeah.
take too little, and then you're going to still say, I have too much.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, most people, I mean, they're really draconian. Like, for a 1 month trip, it's like two shirts, two pairs of pants, two underwear. And I was like, can't I pack three? I was like, no, that would be 4 ounces
I
more.
I got down to one,
Yeah.
and each night I would wash them in the shower.
Yeah.
And then they'd be ready to go the next morning. Might be a little bit damp, but hey, I'm going to be damp when I'm out there in the summertime anyway.
So I'm learning. I'm learning. I made a mistake. I got scolded by Michael, my chiropractor,
You
other
got a
people.
light pack?
I got my pack is 3 pounds, 8 ounces, which is pretty light. You think I should go lighter?
I'm going to look into it. Sounds heavy.
Three
Sounds
pounds?
well. Are you going to have a sleeping bag in there and a
No.
bedroll or no?
I'm gonna have
Sounds
like
heavy.
a silk liner. Someone said get a silk liner.
I'm going to do my homework on this. And there's a gentleman. I think the record has been broken several times since then. But I want you to check out anything online by Scott Urek, Jurek.
Jurek.
Rek.
Okay.
He set the record for the AT, for the Appalachian Trail, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It's probably been broken several times since then, but you can get an idea of what he carried and what gear he took with him.
Oh.
And you go, well, but I'm not racing. That means you're going to be out there even longer. Let's get you even lighter. And
Okay.
let's make you a minimalist for this adventure.
Okay. All right. I'll look into it. I mean, I went to REI. There, that's one of the lightest packs that they have, is 3 pounds.
So, and I'll do my research too. And it could be that is exceptionally light. I am, when it comes to this stuff, I just ordered a pouch to carry my cell phone when I run. And it is like obscenely light. It's basically parachute material. I'm a weight weenie when it comes to this stuff
Yeah.
because
Smart.
every step you're lifting it, every single step, which is
Yeah.
also why I'm very much into minimalist footwear for this. Also because we need your feet to do the work rather than the shoes or you run into a whole
Yeah, I know. I
series.
was asking Michael about like ankles or no ankles, and I tried the one with ankles. I'm like, my ankles must be free, unless for some reason,
Free the ankle.
because my ankles
Free
did
the
have
ankle.
pain. And then I said, I think I'm going to ask Michael, and he's going to say, just strengthen up your ankles. And then, sure enough, I sent an email, and you're like, strengthen up your ankles. I was like, okay. I always, by the way, my husband said, how come the voices that you make of other people talking to you are just so much harsher? So I know your voice isn't free up the ankle. That's what it sounds like in my head.
Free the ankles,
Free
CJ.
the ankles,
Free the
gentle, kind, easy, good. All right, so so the two of us have had kind of crazy kinds of weeks. I mean, so it's like incredibly long walk, packing, looking, buying, returning, buying. I feel like I'm walking to the UPS store every 2 seconds, just trying to get the right gear and getting ready. We've yet to buy our tickets, but hopefully that will be soon. And so my mind has just been, so I'm sitting there meditating. Oh, wait, did I just, and to make matters even crazier, my teacher is coming. I have to leave probably an hour and a half from now to pick him up at the airport, and he'll be here the whole weekend. We have a retreat of which I'm managing and organizing.
Beautiful,
So,
beautiful.
yeah, so it's been crazy. How have you been able to keep cool through these life challenges?
It's just awareness and bringing it back. Like my studio is usually, I don't know about pristine, but it's in excellent shape before interviews. Right now, it is a mound of clothing and even a bowl on the furniture next to me, which is like unheard of. Because I'm just like, because we've been hiring an editor, we've been hiring somebody for thumbnails designs because we're doing these short videos for YouTube. We're still looking for the right copy editor to do new titles for the show, and we've got somebody working on the website, and all of this was coming together before all of a sudden we threw this whole park ranger thing into it, and it's pushed us to the max. And
That's
I've
a
been
lot. Onboarding four new people is a lot. A
it feels
lot.
like I'm chasing my tail, so I just keep bringing it back. The best I can do when I find my mind elsewhere, bring it back, bring it back. My meditation got really slim for a few days. Today was relatively beautiful. The mind is still a little bit all over the place, but the more I can bring awareness and forgiveness, which means no judgment, which is like Jessica's like, wow, look at the studio. I'm like, yep. That's how it is right now. It's all good. It's all perfect.
Okay, I'll tell you one last bizarre story. So I know because we got to wrap it up. So my husband's trying to change a light bulb. He got a seat, one of the seats out of my son's room, and he finds this basically large sex toy in the middle of my son's room. We're like,
Uh-oh.
I'm like, I actually gasp. And then to the
That's an
point my
episode for
younger,
a whole nother day.
yeah, my younger son says, "What's going on, Mom?" And I like my face looks like like a sheet, like a ghost. And he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Never mind. It's your older brother's thing."
We'll be boys.
And then I find out, and it's actually I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm doing this. My thing of like clearing sheets is I think of the windshield wiper. So the thoughts come and I'm like, just
Get
let
rid
it
of the
go, let it
thought.
go, let it go,
Yep.
let it go. So I'm doing the windshield wiper and I was like, okay, I can't. I just need to know. So I talked to my eldest son and I said, well, maybe he was talking about cleaning. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should pick up some things off of your floor. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I did find some interesting things on your floor. And he said, oh, we have the scavenger hunt in our frat, and that's where we hide. And so I couldn't put it into the storage unit for our frat, so they asked me to carry it out on the plane. I was like, thank God your luggage wasn't checked. It looks super bad. But thank God I had asked. Anyways, that's my bizarre story for the
And now you
week.
can go back to your windshield wiper and back to
Woo!
your
Don't
windshield
have to
wiper.
worry about. I was like, how are they? What is he? How is it even?
Don't
What?
think. It's really important here not to think.
Anyhow, that's what I've been doing. Very similar, kind of like mine's going crazy. Like, let it go. It's that you don't have to, it's a story. Let it go. This is all you're making up a crazy story. Let it go. Let it go. That was the only thing that I tried like heck, but I couldn't do it. Anyways, I know we have to wrap up. So, anything else from you?
Well, it's been important to hold on to at least a touch with universe or higher guidance. So I've made sure I put in a little automatic writing time each morning,
Yay.
despite the craziness, which has helped me to anchor in
Mm,
the sanity
mm.
as I'm going through this. I'm getting all learnings. Jessica's going, it's all steering, it's all guidance, and I have even during this time gotten some really good guidance on hiring. Like there's
Oh,
somebody that
good.
I wanted to hire, and Jessica, after, because first I do the initial meeting, then she's the producer, she does the second meeting with me. And she's like, I'm not sure. And then we started to talk ourselves back into it. And automatics writing is going, no. And I'm going, is this ego? No. Could this be ego? No. Do you get to hire this person? No. I'm like, okay. But it's been so important to have that guidance to step
Mm,
outside of myself during this nutty period where I know my head's screwed on as best as it can be, but I couldn't claim that I have nearly the bandwidth this week
I hear you.
that I would like to have.
Yes, I hear you. Well, good luck on your ranger phone call. I know we have to wrap
Thank
it
you. I
up.
got to go do that right now. I'm very much looking forward to it. Then I get a short barefoot run practicing what I preach
Yay!
before
Yay!
my next coaching session. And then Jessica and I, along with a couple dear friends, are going to take a bicycle ride down to First Friday and the next
How
town
fun.
over. And it will be a tandem ride. So I think our first tandem ride since the ice cream adventure. So
Criminal.
that's about how we said it. We love you, Eric. On that note, any last words of wisdom?
I'm good.
So, everybody, if you're listening to this, life goes down. Life always goes down. Do the windshield wiper or just bring it back to center. And if you find your mind going awry and going and dwelling on one thing, the same thing over and over and over again, no judgment. Don't get down on yourself. Just find something to link it to and actually turn it into a positive. Each time we went to WTF, we brought it back to what can we do to grow the business? What can we do to hiring? Rather than focusing on what's going to bring us down and take us further off center.
Hmm.
With that said, for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and
CJ Lou from Fired Up
from
with
the
CJ show.
saying, be well, have fun, be careful what you leave on the floor when you're no longer living at home, and above and beyond all else, don't feed the bears, shine bright.
Woohoo!
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.